John Taylor.
What's up?
Thank you for doing the podcast. It's show business.
It is.
You ready?
Yes.
You sound great. You look great.
Thank you.
I was talking before, or as you got here, that we don't know each other that well, but we hung out at Paul's show, the great Low Key Outside, and I felt like we always had a rapport.
We did. We do.
And we did and do. Maybe we won't
do,
after
right?
this.
Yeah, this is our
kidding.
last conversation right
Yeah. And I just see you doing big things, and you're coming up, and I just wanted to kind of talk to you about what's going on in your world.
Cool. Yeah. It's been, I guess, my best year in comedy.
Yeah.
Kind of weird to say that, but yeah, the quarantine has put things in reach that would not have been in reach had regular comedy still been going on. So I took advantage of making opportunities and opportunities that were given to me.
That's amazing. Is that because it was online, or is it just because life happened for you that way?
Well, as you know, it's very hard to break into clubs.
Yeah, very hard.
Very hard to break into clubs. So with the creation of Low Key Outside with Paul's show, that would put me into spaces with comedians that like I would not meet or would not see because they're club comedians and I'm not a club comedian.
Right.
And then I'm seeing them on a bi-weekly basis. And then when Low Key first started, I was actually just the door guy, temperatures, seating, and everything. And then as it continued, I was able to be the opener.
Yeah.
So then I'm
but not because you weren't a comic, just because.
No, right.
Yeah.
Just because to be honest, just because it was the only show in LA. Mm-hmm. So they didn't have time for an opener. Every spot was so precious. And then as other shows popped up, or as I just got closer with Paul and everything, I got more opportunity and took full advantage of that. And then also through a couple of my own shows as well.
Nice.
So that helped out.
Yeah. Where are your shows?
My shows right now are at the MKM Cultural Center.
Okay. Yeah. Is that with Brinian?
Brendan Weeks,
yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
Yes, we are Outside Jokes on Low Key. We are Outside Jokes on Instagram.
Yeah.
So,
I think I was scheduled to do that.
You were
about a month ago.
Yes. And that's the thing too, is we're trying to maneuver with the Delta variant to see what's happening.
Dude, it's cut attendance. I don't know. A lot of shows I talked to, and I talked to a lot of the guys we all know, and it's like, attendance really went down with big time.
Yeah. Matter of fact, that show was one of the shows that were casualty of Delta. But we're trying to find ways to maneuver and just make it safe and, exploring the options, like if it's vaccination cards or still wearing masks or whatever we have to do, because comedy's got to keep going.
Yeah. Do you think vax only would increase attendance or decrease?
I think it would increase.
Yeah.
I think people want to feel safe going out, So there's a lot of people who are vaccinated and want things to do. I think the whole reason you got vaccinated is because you want to get out.
Yeah.
So I think that audience is begging for stuff to
That's
do.
a good point. You didn't get vaxxed to go hang out with the unvaxxed.
No, you got vaxxed to travel and do stuff.
Yeah.
So I think the vax crowd is itching.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah.
Well, walk us back a little earlier. So you got into comedy when and how did you get started? Why?
Wow. Okay, so got into comedy probably like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe even more. Yeah, got into comedy about 10 years ago. Just
you look so young.
It's the diet.
Okay.
Running,
fasting?
No. I eat. It's just I eat healthy during the week, but on the weekend, whatever you want to do, we can do.
Okay.
Yeah, we can put away.
We can party on the weekend?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So I was like your typical LA comic. I'm gonna go to the Laugh Factory, knock them off their feet. I'll be ruling comedy in 2 years. Kind of
right.
mindset. So I started that. The 10 years ago, I was in like the Laugh Factory in the Comedy Store because I didn't know about like open mics and like the whole process. Every time you watch on TV, somebody goes to a club, they do a 3 minutes. Hey, you're next.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about anything. And then as I started doing it, I started going like to the Sunset Grill.
Okay.
Were you a Marty's person or no?
I went there a couple times, but not really.
I was a devout Marty's comic. And that's honestly where I honed like a lot of my jokes and skills. I would not be the comedian I am today if it wasn't for Marty's.
It was your stomping ground. It was where you got started. Yeah. I know a lot of people like Marty's people are Marty's people.
Yeah.
They like
it's
fuck
a different
with it all
crowd.
the way.
Yeah. It's a cult.
It's a cult. Yeah.
It's definitely, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's very bare knuckles. Just get up there, tell your jokes, and there's a crackhead in the back, but if you focus on your jokes, you can get stuff out. There's like, I mean, Damon Wayans would drop in and do a set.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where I met Paul too. That's where I met probably like half the hitters I know was Marty's.
Marty's, so, yeah.
But that had
yeah, Chris Gardner is a Marty's guy. You
Chris
know?
Gardner, Dave Gitzoff.
Yeah.
Dicey.
Oh, I love Dicey. Yeah.
Of course you do.
She's so funny.
I mean, she used to host like, that was like a basic training for comedy. I would compare it to that. Yeah. So Marty's was definitely helpful. I would be there at like 4:30. Club wouldn't even open till 5, but I would be on the stage talking to an empty room, just kind of like shadow boxing,
right.
You know, like whatever joke I kind of just saying it until
fourth chamber.
Right.
Yeah.
Until it sounded right. And then when the first comic came in and wanted to look at their phone, I would I would do the rehearsed joke.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When you were talking about the Laugh Factory mic, were you saying that because you're saying you weren't quite sure that was like the right way? Because you see it on TV, like you go to the club and you just become the next big thing.
Exactly.
But there's kind of like a step before that.
Oh.
And if you do the club mic too early, that's kind of like, and you could be great early, who knows? But like, if you do it too early, it shouldn't be your first mic.
No, it definitely
it's an audition.
No, yeah, it's an audition. 1 and 2 is it's 3 minutes.
Yeah,
you know, and most when you first get on stage, you don't know what a set is. Like I was just doing observations.
Yeah,
you know, I don't even know if I had like actual punchlines and setups and delivery and everything. So you have to go to like open mic to even get your thoughts out. A lot of people just go, oh, there's this crazy person at work, and what's the setup? What's the punch? What's the misdirection?
Yeah.
Don't just get on stage and complain about work. Anybody can do that. Where's the art?
Yeah. So where's the writing?
Yeah, you know? You go to open mic to find the art. Yeah. So that I kind of, but I guess it's also good to go just to know like, okay, most of your sets are going to be 3 minutes when you start. So you should start looking at that instead of like, here's my hour.
Right.
Which you don't have.
Yeah.
No, even if you think you have an hour material, it's not material.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you got to work it out. And it's a hard city to work out a long set in.
Yes.
Yeah, which brings me to your half hour, which you just shot.
Yes, I did.
How did you find the time to work that out?
You know, I mean, that's Marty's. Like that's years of jokes, you know?
Okay.
And it's just the practice and repetition, and I was able to get a lot of reps during the low key cold opens, and you know it's a semi-different audience every show.
Yeah.
So I like
that term, semi-different
because they have a following.
Oh yeah, they have repeat. Know? Yeah.
So and the thing is, I was the only comedian they see every week, like because Paul and Matt they riff.
Yeah.
You know, so they're not doing a set, but I'm doing, even though it's just a 5-minute set, I can't come with the same 5 minutes every week.
Yeah, yeah.
So. I mean, technically, there's more pressure on me than any other comedian. No,
no. I mean, I run a show as well, so it's like,
yeah,
and I get a lot of people coming through, and it's like, all right, they've probably seen me before, so if I don't have something new, it's not going to work.
Like, you don't want to be the first comedian and they're already looking on the phone.
Yeah,
you know, they're discounting you. Like, you set the tone.
Yeah, yeah.
So, that was a challenge to see what my good bits are. And then make them even more crisp for like, I mean, these people are coming to see like Jeff Ross, Ari Spears, Elijah.
Did you say Chris or crisp?
Crisp.
Okay.
Put that P on there. Yeah. So if they're coming to see A-listers, you don't want to be like the obvious C-lister in the group. You want to you want to get off stage and people go, who are you? You know, or like, where do you perform at? Or do you have shows too?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, I welcomed that challenge and that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause you are, I mean, especially with low key, it's like you're meeting those A-list people could be going next because a lot of them want to go first because they got other spots. So they're watching you and then going up.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that's the key is that they do pay attention. Like they're not too big to not enjoy comedy.
Right.
You know? So you never know who's watching too. So you don't want to just be like going through the motions. Every show is a show. So give them a show.
And isn't that like the best feeling when you get someone who you respect to be like, that was really funny? I mean, like that can keep you going for months.
Like you can get off stage and then when they bring up a joke that it's like, wow. You know? And even though it was 3 minutes ago, it's like, wait, you heard me? You saw me? Yeah. And that's what happened with Iliza's show is that I got off stage and she saw the set. So that was cool. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you just went through the taping for that as well, like one of her 10-minute Iliza presents.
Iliza Locals.
Iliza Locals, yeah.
So for that one, I literally, I did and as you said, she came early. She had to go. I was first. I get off stage and I'm walking back to like keep checking people in.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm a comedian for 5 minutes and then I go back to the door.
Right.
And then as I'm walking back, Iliza's like, hey, good set. And I'm thinking, thanks, Iliza. Like, cool. I appreciate thank you. That means a lot. And then she's like, so I got this thing called Iliza's Locals. Picking X amount of comedians. I think you'd be really good for it. And my mind's like processing, like, is she offering me a gig? Like, is this really happening? And time is like slowing down,
Right.
and I'm like, okay.
It's bullet time.
Yeah. like Matrix.
Yeah.
So I'm like, she's like, are you down? And I'm like, I'm on the floor. Like, I can't get any more down. Like,
right,
like whatever you need. Do you need blood? I will give you blood. Like,
right.
Tell me what you want.
You might have.
Yeah. I probably did. And it was because I was ready.
Yeah.
The opportunity preparation, and she saw it, and I filmed it, and it was a really good set, really cool show. The place, the Kiss Kiss Bang Bang Theater was sick.
Yeah.
I had a ball. They're still chopping it up and editing. I don't know where it's going to be released, but I'm looking forward to that.
Doesn't matter. You're stamped by Iliza.
Stand up by Iliza.
Yeah. Was it intimidating to go through like all the contracts and stuff like that?
No, because and that's the thing. So the first special, the 30-minute special I did was through Funny Media Group.
Okay.
And the thing about that one is I was on the show. The show started at 4:30. I didn't hit the stage till like 9. So these people were hungry because as soon as I got off the stage, they could eat. So they had to wait for me to finish.
Yeah.
I was like the old person saying grace during Thanksgiving. Like,
right.
Please shut up.
Turkey's here. Let's go.
Come on, man. You're ruining it. So because I did that, and I was like, in my mindset, I'm like, you know what? They might not like be fully enthused and laugh at your jokes, but this is your special. So you can't like buy into that. You have to give 100% energy. And doing that set under those conditions really prepped me for doing Iliza's show.
Oh, you did that one first?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And Iliza's show was, 2-hour show, 10 comics, and it's by Iliza. So she knows how
it's all set up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so every show is practice for another show. Like that Iliza show will help me get something bigger and so on and so on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then so you did. That's so good that you got to do yours first because you got to. Did you edit it yours already before you had done her Eliza's?
No, like I literally just got the finished product yesterday.
Okay.
They emailed me and they put it on YouTube. It came out pretty cool. Came out better than I thought because I thought I had like maybe 3 laughs in the whole 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of water breaks. It was tough. But listening back, and I was able to enjoy it, and you're kind of like, whatever, let's have fun with it.
Right, and it's for the people. It's not for you. It's not for you to go home and watch. Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I'm still gonna give them a show.
Right.
And you kind of laugh at yourself like going 100%, and there's somebody just staring at you like this. But that preps you for when you have that captivated audience, and then it's just easy as cake.
Totally.
So yeah. That show was necessary. Loved it. And they invited me back to host.
Hell yeah.
So that was hella cool.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that says something too.
And yes, that's a lot of thing in this town. It's like people are like, I want to get this one thing. Well, yeah, you could get it. Mm-hmm. But also the relationship is just as important because they'll remember you and be like, he wasn't right for this one thing, but I got this other thing.
Exactly.
So it's like, there's always multiple bites of the apple. And so don't burn out your contract or your contacts. Don't feel like someone didn't give you something and that's it. Because they'll come around again. If you're cool and you show you have value and you're hardworking, they'll remember you. Because there's not that many cool, good working people.
No. And people don't understand how hard it is to throw a show, period.
Oh, Yeah.
So if you're a comedian and you get an opportunity where somebody's asking you to be on a show, thank that person. Try to stay the whole time. Show appreciation.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised how they treat you. Hey, you know what? Somebody dropped out for my next week's show. Come back. Or, hey, we weren't going to pay comics, but you did good. Here's 20 for gas. And little things like that go a long way.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely I was like, hey, thank you. The next day I sent the thank you text, and I always appreciative of every opportunity. But if somebody's giving me a 30-minute special, I'm hell of appreciative.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Funny Media Group. How about that?
Exactly. Is any of your Iliza 10 in the 30, or is it totally different?
A little bit. Because you want people to watch for different reasons. I've actually I had a new I had a new experience happen to me between the 30-minute and Iliza 10. So that's part of my closer. And
Okay.
it did well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, attitude goes a long way because I was with you, I think, at Paul's show, and then you're like, hey, can you watch the door for me while I go do my set? I was like, yeah, sure. So I watched the door, and then you came off, and Paul's like, hey, you got to go next. Moses isn't here yet.
Oh, yeah.
And then so I went up, and then like it's just about being cool. I could have been like, nah, I'm not doing the door, or like put some bullshit, but just like hanging out and being cool with your friends. Moses and I were picking up trash after the show. It's like just being cool and like there's no ego in this town.
Ego is the worst thing you can have.
Yeah.
No matter what you think. Like, and that goes back to the whole like doing open mics. Like you're never above practice or helping out. If it's not your show and somebody put you on the show, help out. Like, and that's when they first asked me to work the door, I could have been on some, dude, I'm a comic.
Yeah.
I'm not security.
Yeah.
And where would that have gotten me?
Right. But the way you said that really seems like you're security.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like,
you're like, oh, this guy can work here.
Right? Yeah, no. And that was cool. Yeah. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Just thank you. I was like, yo, I'm happy to be. And Paul's such a sweet dude. He's like, yeah, man, I'm going to try to get you spots. Like, yo, not even tripping.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. Like, it's quarantine.
Yeah.
I have access to a comedy show, and I need that because I was losing it.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Even now, I feel like with shows winding down a little bit, I'm starting to feel like, oh, man, like stage time's getting reduced and all that stuff. Yeah. And you start to feel it mentally.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's why I actually, like, bumped up my running because, like, I like to be great at things or have something else going on. And when they took comedy away from me, I had to pour into something else. I had to pour the comedy energy into something else. So, like, me, Brennan, Mitchell, and this guy, Mike Moody, we have a group called Comedy Powder. We started doing sketches.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Because that's all we could do.
And that's a great slash to accentuate eyeballs on your comedy. Right. Because that's what people are watching online.
Yeah. You know, there's always a way to make a move. It might not be the move that you're used to making, but you can't sit back. Like, if you took a year off during quarantine, you did it wrong.
Yeah.
You know? And people see that, people watch that, and that's what makes like the low key outside. They saved LA comedy.
Yeah.
Period.
What are some of like? I'll give you an example of some of those stories I've had from running my show. It's like I had a great show, everyone was there. It was like one of our best lineups. And then like I'm talking to a guy from Apple's there. I'm talking to him, and as that's happening, someone walks up. He's like, "Hey, yo, the bathroom's clogged," and you're just like.
Yeah.
Like that's part of like just being cool. You're like, all right.
Right.
You know, and so it's like you got to find the dude to like fix that. And you're like, you're in the middle. It's like you're on such a high, and then like working at a show, it's like you're making the sausage. Yeah. Like your hands are in it. I mean, I see how hard Paul works with this stuff, and you guys too. And it's like you're rolling in the truck. You're like it's building a show from scratch.
From scratch. Like
there is no venue.
There's no venue. Yeah. It's a parking lot or an empty space. And you literally turn it into something that's comfortable enough to be like an outdoor comedy club.
Yeah.
And people don't see like, you know, that we're spacing the chairs, we're wiping them down, we're making sure that the people who bought 6 tickets have 6 seats together.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of tedious work that goes into like a good show. And that's cool.
The
that,
music.
Like, the music, the lineup.
The order.
The time. Like, you know, like everything. And the location.
Yeah.
We had a couple of locations like, you know, too much street noise. Like,
yeah.
You know, and that can bleed into the set.
Right.
And Paul's like, okay, hey, we need to find this spot. We need to do this spot. And that's a need that needs to be fulfilled. You can't just have like car alarms going off during somebody's set. It's distracting for the audience and the comedian. Yeah.
At that one where it was kind of noisy, he came over here actually, Paul, and we were talking about setting up his speakers and to like get the sound a bit better so he could kind of like go to the next level. Because there's a lot. I mean, it was like 120 people.
Yeah, huge.
At that venue. And it was like the sound wasn't quite getting there. But that helps. You're like, why don't I? Because people don't think like, oh, it's the sound or it's the music. Like, you're like, why aren't I having a good time?
Right.
Or like, why don't I want to go back? And you're like, oh, because all these things weren't great.
Right.
And when a comedy show's bad, it's bad.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to some bad ones.
And it can turn to, like, imagine if you're first time going to comedy and it's not good. You're like, I don't like comedy.
Yeah.
It can turn you off forever.
Especially for something like, you know, during a quarantine time.
Yeah.
Like you're risking it already. So you
you
kind of want it to be worth the risk to go out and enjoy.
Yeah.
And if we can't cheer you up out of the glum that you're in, that's a super fail. So yeah.
And it's like, luckily they're outside and it's already, that's what's good about outside shows, that they're already kind of naturally safer in a way.
Right.
It's
of
like
course.
there's air, there's flow, and it was the first way to get people to be like, all right, let's go out again.
Yeah. Cause we're not trying to like make it dangerous for anybody too. Like we want you guys to be alive and come back. So temperature checks, mask.
You guys were big on the like take a sip, put your mask back on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, as tedious or nitpicky as it is, it's just so we can continue to provide comedy.
Totally.
So whatever that takes, that's what we want, so that you guys can come back and have this 2 weeks from now, bi-weekly show. That's, looking back, that if they make a comedy history book, that needs to be like a whole chapter.
Oh, totally. Yeah. The quarantine and what happened, especially LA, because LA kind of set the tone early for the rest of the country because we have the perfect weather for outdoor shows, except for maybe December.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting cold. Matter of fact, we did a show in the rain one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that
was intense.
Oh my God.
I came to that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was some crazy. Looking back, you're like, what? Because, there's inside shows in LA. If it's raining, you're like, I'm not going out in the rain. I'm not driving. But people were sitting underneath tents outside of a yoga studio to hear comedy.
Yeah.
Like that just shows you how much people love comedy and how much like we love it to put that on for you too.
Totally.
Yeah.
Now that you achieved the stamp of Iliza with the 10-minute special, you have your own 30-minute special. How does that affect what your goals are for this next year?
Well, it makes the hour special more realistic because I've been filmed doing specials twice now. And now it's like, okay, I know people are going to see this. And not only are people going to see this, I'm going to make sure people see this because I can market that. I can cut those into reels, send them to clubs,
Yeah.
Reels are huge.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's like what most of my specials are. I'm going to chop it.
Yeah. And it's hard to get a bit into 30 seconds.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And you know what? The thing that helped me with that, because like when I first started comedy, I didn't know how to write like a short joke because I was watching specials. So my setups were like 3 minutes long. And then I started watching like late night Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
And
5 minutes.
5 minute specials. And then I would see how fast they would get to the first punchline.
Oh, you have to. Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
I actually auditioned for NBC. I think it's Stand Up to Diversity or something like that.
Okay, I remember that one. Yeah.
And so you can send an audition in, and they can choose you to go to the second round. And if you don't, then you can show up and do a 1 minute joke and get to the second round. So I wrote a joke that is 1 minute long, but has like 10 punches.
It's like Kill Tony. It's like a minute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was able to get to the second round.
Oh, nice.
Because I conditioned, Yeah. So once you like, and it's just a practice.
You approach it like a fighter. You're like, I'm conditioned. I'm working out. Yeah.
That's
what
a fight.
It is. Yeah.
We're up there. Like there's, it's 3 minute rounds. It's 7 minute rounds. Like it's stamina. Like, you get up there and you need water.
Yeah. It's like the rap battle, 8 Mile.
Yes.
It's like all on the line right there.
And no lie. I've been watching a lot of battle rap.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this out to every comedian. Look at battle rap for performance. They paint a picture.
Yeah.
I've learned so much from battle rap.
Battle rap is, I grew up with like in the rap community in Vancouver, and all my friends are rappers, and I was a producer and I recorded them and stuff. So yeah, that's a big part of it. And it's very similar. It's like you're writing words and you're taking words out and you're making it tighter, and having the stage presence. Because you look at a new rapper on stage, he's got the mic on his face, he's uncomfortable.
He's just yelling.
Yeah,
he's just running. Like.
But someone who's experienced is like making a show. They're jumping. They're making. Yeah, Wiz Khalifa was actually one of the best rap shows I've seen. Like
really?
Like when like 2011, he was on tour with him and Mac Miller, and it was just like the energy he brought to the stage. You're like, holy shit, this is why this guy blew up. It was just like bringing it all the way.
Did you see the Dipset versus the Lox battle? Did you watch that?
No, is that recently or is that old?
Oh yeah, like literally 2 weeks ago.
Where they play the
versus.
record versus?
Yeah.
Dipset versus the Lox?
Yes.
Is it the one where they're playing records? Or
So
they're performing?
They used to do that.
Okay.
They used to play records, but then we get bored easily. So now so for Dipset versus the Lox, and because it was post the first wave, they were able to do a concert. So the Lox come out, Dipset comes out, and they're doing songs. But when the Lox perform their songs, there's no background lyrics. And Jada kept like mentioning that, like, they're doing lip singing. Why are we here? You guys could have been in the car, you know? And he's just controlling the crowd.
So they're playing tracks with backup vocals on them.
The Dipset is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But the Lox are just doing instrumentals and actually performing the songs like you're at a concert.
Right.
And that was the extra move that sealed it from jump.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the difference between going through the motions and performing.
Right.
The Lox are performing.
Yeah, and there's nothing to fall back on.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so like he was on it, and it was yeah, it's a good watch. It's on YouTube.
One of the funniest places, other than like a comedy show, is the recording studio.
Yeah,
like people are so funny. It's just like you're in this environment. It's like this. You're hanging out. You're making songs, and like people's guard goes down, and like you're just cracking jokes, and it's like it's been like the funnest times and like the most hilarious stuff I've seen outside of a real stand-up show.
Yeah, I think there's something about like just having a microphone just makes you open up and like relax and chill.
Yeah.
Totally.
Relax, chill with your friends, and do all that stuff.
We should bring mics to like the park, and I think the conversation would be.
Well, that's the thing. It's like now it's like two comedians hanging out. It's like if you're not making content, you're like you feel weird.
True.
But then the fact that you sometimes only hang out with people to make content can feel weird too.
Very weird. You have to. And yeah, matter of fact, I'm actually like planning a picnic with comics that I hang out with, just so we can not be talking about comedy,
right? And
just talk about how good this tuna tartare is. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I want a picnic with the basket that opens up from both sides.
Yeah, the checkered blanket.
Checkered blanket.
Yes.
Ants coming to get.
And then they're in the potato salad. Yeah, I want a classic ass.
I want a checkered blanket picnic.
Isn't it weird how TV just conditions you to like a fantasy that you would not care about?
But this is why millennials are so great, because millennials came in and said TV lied to us.
Yeah,
and we're gonna make everything that was marketed to us the right way. McDonald's said this burger looks like that. It comes in the package. It doesn't look like this. We're making the $12 version. It looks exactly like that.
True, but
Movie
it's $12.
said whatever. You know what I mean? And it's vegan, but like. Everything that was marketed to us, hipsters came and made like exactly the way we wanted to, because the 80s was like about the buck.
Yeah.
Everything kind of was not good and cheap
and fast.
But on TV, it looked amazing.
Right.
And so they gave us the actual dream.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And now
times are changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have your goal. So change your goals a little bit with achieving these two big things. Mm-hmm. And then how are you going to find the time and the stages to work out the hour?
Well, that's what comes with like throwing my own shows.
Okay.
You know,
on the road or here or both?
Here right now, just to get. Matter of fact, I'm actually trying to get something closer to I live in Hawthorne, so I like to get something in like the El Segundo area.
Yeah.
There's a big. They keep building around SpaceX.
Yeah.
And that's all like us, like 30, 40. You know what I'm saying? That crowd, and they don't have a club.
SpaceX show,
dude. You understand?
Yeah.
So I need to hop on that. I've been talking with a couple of venues close to that. I don't think I can get a show in SpaceX, but maybe I should call them just to see.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I think people will come just to get inside SpaceX, you know?
Yeah, just like I want, again, from TV, I want a badge that like,
that scans.
With zippered.
Or like an eyeball scan or something.
Yeah, eyeball scan to get in the show.
Oh my God.
That'd be the hottest show.
It would be.
If there
so
any
like
show
2
you
tickets
get
for
the eyeball,
$500 a piece.
That's interesting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what SpaceX could handle for a ticket price.
That
probably up there.
Oh, up there, definitely.
I'm sure Elon Musk loves comedy and the viral.
Where does he live though? Is he LA?
He lives in LA and Texas, I think. All right, well, he's got like a hut in Texas, like a hut the size of this garage. He apparently lives in Texas. You haven't seen that online?
No.
It's like he lives in a thing called a tiny home.
A tiny home.
It's like the size of this.
I mean,
it's like 400 square
he's probably
feet.
Bored of mansions. You understand?
I mean, I worked for a company that owned a very large mansion. Did you ever come to the Comedy Bunker?
No.
Show. So it was in a mansion in Sherman Oaks.
Oh, cool.
A huge property. And the upkeep on a property like that is insane.
Yeah.
It's so much work. It's so many people. And at a certain point, you're like, what am I doing?
Right.
He sold his house in LA.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was some like designer, fancy dude's house. He put it a contract that like the dude who buys it from him can't change it because it's like a work of art. Yeah, one of a kind work. It's some famous like actor or something's house.
Oh, cool.
Gene something. I don't know. But yeah, SpaceX. I know a couple people there, so I could try to reach out for them.
Yes. Yeah. I live like 8 minutes away.
Yeah. I love the South Bay.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I love Palos Verdes.
Palos Verdes is great. What's the like the most not good area? It's like Manhattan Beach, Redondo,
El Segundo, Marina Del Rey, or just South Bay.
South Bay.
So Manhattan Beach, Torrance.
Not Torrance. It's more water based. Not Redondo.
Hermosa. Yeah.
I fuck with Hermosa.
Yeah. Okay. Why do you say it's not good?
I mean, it's like the not as good Manhattan Beach.
I'll take a beach, man.
Yeah, but I'm just in terms of like
Manhattan's
like the
special.
It's like the Beverly Hills.
It has a pier though. Manhattan has that nice pier. It's got all that ocean like boardwalk, not boardwalk.
Yeah, but Hermosa
front.
is like old LA. Everything's old.
Is it?
Oh, I went out with my buddy down there, and I'm like, this is great. Just like the steakhouse is old, and like it's like $30 for a steak, and like with all the sides and stuff, and like the people are old. It's been there since like the 70s. You're like, yeah, this is what it's about.
I'm going to Hermosa then.
Yeah, there's a cool like seafood bar that overlooks the whole place, and it's just like it's old and cool, and everyone's chill.
I like that.
Yeah. We'll go out there sometime. I'll introduce you to the SpaceX guys.
That's on the record. Yes.
It's on the record.
It's on the record.
Yeah. And so where can people find you? Tell us your socials. Tell us where to plug the special. People got to watch it.
Okay, so the special is on YouTube. Just YouTube search John Taylor and Funny Media Group. Give me views. Give me comments. You can hate on me. I don't care.
You know what the best tip I ever got, and you probably already know this? Respond to every single comment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I respond to everything.
Yeah.
And I'm
get in a battle with them. Tell them the bits you like, more importantly.
Tell me how goofy my jacket looks hanging on me.
And I didn't subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's the most important thing you can do.
Subscribe. John Taylor Show on all media. Outside Jokes on Instagram. Go ahead and follow Loki Outside. We got more shows coming up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's the main. Oh, and Comedy Powder for skits. Cool.
Comedy Powder for skits.
Yeah.
And your show will be coming at the
MKM Culture Center. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that will be soon, and that's the Outside Jokes account.
I love it. Well, John, it was really good to get to know you better. I'm so glad you came out for this podcast.
Number 99.
Number 99. He's Wayne Gretzky on the ice, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, appreciate it. Love you, man.